Hi friends, it's Christy here with Flourishing Through Creativity to share one of my favorite things with you today. I'm going to make homemade Play-Doh, and let me tell you why. When I first started teaching, even when my kids were little, we used to get the canned Play-Doh, and I'm going to tell you there's nothing wrong with that if that's easy for you. But my preference is I'm not a fan of the smell, the texture, what it's made of, and I can make something all natural and not harmful to my classroom and my kids. That's what I'm going to choose to do. So today, because we're in the fall season, we're going to make pumpkin spice Play-Doh, and I'm going to tell you this is super duper easy. So I challenge you after today to go make some Play-Doh and let me know what scents and flavors that you chose to come up with. I love to challenge my kids. I put it out on the table and I ask them who can tell me what smells are in there, because it's so important that our kids are using their senses, right? Because they're not always doing that as much anymore in the device nation that we're in. So anyhow, so we have a lot of ingredients here. I'm going to show you my little recipe. I made this up for a training I did, so I thought I would just show my recipe to you. And I will also post it as well, so you can visually see it. We're going to do 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt. So the salt, I just buy the big cans of this. It's super cheap at Walmart. 3 tablespoons of cream of tartar, 2 tablespoons of oil, 1 cup of boiling water. I've already got my boiling water here ready for you. You see the steam? Ooh, this is giving me a spooky effect. And then I'm also going to do it with some flavoring and some color today, because I want that full pumpkin spice flavor and smell. Well, not flavor. I don't encourage them to eat it, don't get me wrong, but if they do, they won't get hurt. All right, so we're going to start with our flour first. And I bought a whole brand new bag, so I might be wearing this by the time we're done. So here we go. It doesn't have to be expensive. And again, most people have this around their house, so why not make your own Play-Doh? There's very little of this that you're going to have to do or go buy. Anyhow, I'm going to flip this down so you can actually see the bowl. I'll keep talking, but I'm going to let you see what I'm putting in the bowl and mixing it up, okay? So 1 second. All right, here's my bowl right here. All right, you guys ready? Let's get this party started with some pumpkin spice Play-Doh. All right, I gotta find my measuring cups. Okay, so for your flour, as we said, we need two, it's upside down, it's like walking feet, 2 cups of flour. Let's go ahead and do this. I chose to wear black while doing this. Don't ask me why I chose to wear black, because I'm gonna be a snowman by the time we're done. There's 1. And I am not an exact person, so it's okay if you go a little bit over, because you know, every recipe tends to be a little sticky anyhow, so I always end up adding extra flour as it is. So there's your 2 cups of flour. Perfect. I'm gonna keep this little bad boy over here because I'm sure I'm gonna need some more. And I need 1 cup of salt. It would have been helpful if I probably opened this ahead of time, but you know, I didn't think about all of that. Oh, that was easy for me. 1 cup of salt, and I already showed you the salt container. So exciting. I'm gonna shake it out, shake it out. All right. I feel like it's the days of our lives. There we go. We got 1 cup of salt, and then we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of cream of tartar. You can buy it in various ways. This little container I have, and I grabbed this one. I'm really hoping this one has 3 tablespoons in it. But you know what, cream of tartar is the one thing in this recipe that if it's not exact or you don't have enough, it is a-okay. All right, we got 1. Ooh, we're 1/3 of the way there. We're gonna shake it out, shake it out. Yeah, close enough. Maybe I should have done a big pour. Maybe just go big or go home, right? This big pour center. Ooh. Oh, there's some in there. We're snowing, it's snowing. Oh, that doesn't go with the rain song, does it? Okay. We got cream of tartar in there. That should be enough. If not, you know, I can go track some more down, because you know I have a surplus of cream of tartar. Now we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of oil, and that's just vegetable oil. I'm sure you could use other oil if you so chose to do that, but this is usually what I have around the house. So I'm gonna go ahead and use vegetable oil. So there's 1 and 2. We'll make it all fancy going inside there. All right, so that's all I have so far. All I have left up from the recipe that are must-haves is the 2 cups of boiling water, which is over here, piping hot, ready to be poured. I'm gonna warn you, this is really hot. I do start with a mixing spoon, but then I do go to my hands, but I'm so used to it, it doesn't bother my hands. Okay, so here's my boiling water. Ready? Let's see if that steam gives us a, ooh, you see the steam? All right, and you see I do have this on a cookie sheet with parchment paper, because once I'm all done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the parchment paper to mix it better. Ooh, look at all that wild stuff going up here. I've got like a waterfall. All right, now, this is, if you wanted Play-Doh, you've got Play-Doh right here, and I do, oh, there's my mixing spoon. And this would be absolutely fine. And this would be just basic Play-Doh, but if you know anything about me thus far, I'm a little extra. And as I said, I'm going to scent my Play-Doh. So I got out some pumpkin pie spice because I love pumpkin, and it's pea next week. I'm very generous with this, by the way. Woohoo! And because it's pumpkin, I'm gonna also add some cinnamon because why not? You can be generous with that. And then I have out, I also got some orange food coloring. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some orange food coloring in here. I'm just gonna start with a little bit, and if I need to add more, I will do that. That's what I love about this recipe. Not only is it super easy, it's not real exact. And I think once you make this enough, ooh, I'm shaking up there. Once you make this enough, you will know exactly what to do. Now I did this in a training, and let me tell you, we didn't have a piping hot water. I did a half and half, 1 cup hot, 1 cup room temperature, and it did not work. All right, so you see you have that there. It's obviously, it needs more flour. And at this point, y'all, I'm gonna go all Iowa on you. All right, we're gonna fold that in there. And you'll see, it'll start, well, you'll know when it's ready. It'll have a Play-Doh consistency. So as long as you have extra flour laying around, you are good to go. You see it's already getting a little bit thicker in there. Can y'all see what I'm doing? There. I'm probably shaking you. Have I made you dizzy yet? I'm stirring so hard on the table, it's shaking my phone. There it is. All right, so are y'all ready to get your hands dirty? So you can see it's orange. Can you see it's kind of a, that's not orange enough for me. I'm really generous with this because you know what? Not only should the kids have fun, y'all should have fun too. That's my philosophy. All right, it's definitely getting to a Play-Doh consistency. So once I get it to a point I feel like it's a little bit thicker, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it to this parchment paper so I can mix it with my hands, because I think we should get our hands dirty, just like the kids. If we expect them to get their hands dirty, guess what, y'all? Am I pointing at you? Y'all should get your hands dirty too. All right, I think I'm ready to transfer it. It's still probably gonna be a little bit warm, and I can see it's still a little sticky, so I will be adding more flour to it here shortly. All right, let me move all my supplies out of the way. And I'm gonna go ahead and add some flour to my parchment paper because I know already this is gonna need more flour. So it's kind of like almost working with cake or bread or any of that dough. You still need the flour and all that stuff to make it not sticky. So if you've made bread and all that, you'll be an expert, Play-Doh maker. Woo! I'm already excited. It smells like fall up in here, y'all. Just think you're in a nice tree colored leaf area. I have to think that because in Texas, we really don't get a lot of the trees changing colors. Now, I grew up in the Midwest, so I grew up with all of that. So one thing Texas is missing is the beautiful fall colors. Okay, look at that bloom. And you can see it makes a lot. This right here, in my centers in my classroom, I always, because I have the older kids and they can do it and they can count, I always only allow 4 in my centers at a time. And they have the freedom of choice, because at this age, when they're getting ready for kindergarten, they need to know how to make choices and they need to know how to ask to trade. I know it's a big grown-up thing for a 4-year-old and 5-year-old to do, but let me tell you, they can do it. You'd be amazed what kids can do. I think oftentimes we limit kids and our expectations are low. But I tell you what, I have seen some absolute amazing things out of little kids. And I could hang out with 4 and 5-year-olds all day long. They are my people. They have the best stories. I always say they're old enough to know things. They know a lot about nothing. But they sure like to tell you their stories, and I just love their excitement and that glimmer in their eyes when they get a new Play-Doh flavor, a new center. I have tons of centers to show you. They are just an awe and wonder. Doesn't take much to get them excited about learning. And, you know, even Play-Doh is a learning thing. Can anybody tell me what you think they would learn from playing with Play-Doh? Look what I'm doing with my hands right here, right? They're building that hand strength. Ooh, I'm really shaking y'all a lot today. I'll try to be gentler, I promise. They really build that strength in their hands as they're, whatever I put out on their tray. I might put, say, so this is a pumpkin, I'll put out cookie cutters and stems or like sticks and stuff so they can make pumpkins. And like I'll put fall leaf cookie cutters and maybe even some real leaves so they can imprint leaf textures into their Play-Doh. Anything that gets their little imaginations running wild and creating. Because kids, I tell you what, y'all, they need to be creating more these days. We are a busy generation right now. We're all busy. Sometimes it's out of necessity. Anytime you can stop a kid from being on a phone or watching TV and just getting their hands in something, I consider that a mega win. So right now, okay, it's losing its stickiness. Ooh, this is a shaky place for y'all. Hope I'm not giving y'all headaches. Woo. You see I'm still pulling, so a little bit, so this is still a little bit sticky. It's just really working it. In the scheme of things, this doesn't take any time at all. Oh, I was telling you about my centers and how I allow only 4 at a time, because that's just enough and not too many. And that teaches them the skill to count, like I said, and really to ask for what they want. We're really teaching them this year to speak up for what they want because they are their own best advocates. So I'd love them to go into kindergarten not being afraid to ask questions from their teacher. That would be a super duper win for me. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more flour because we're almost there. I told you I'd do more flour, so you can always be generous with flour right out of the gate. Okay, so with being 4 at a center, you see this amount of Play-Doh? This is more than enough for 4 stations. Remember those school trays I was telling you about the other day that I use in my classroom? I will actually show you that. I'm gonna start showing you some of my favorite products, my top 5s and stuff, products I use in my classroom, at home. It doesn't have to be in a classroom, y'all. Some of this stuff can be used at home just as well as it can be used in the classroom. Right now I'm using a cookie sheet because guess what? That's what I have at home. Now, if it was summer, I'd have all my stuff from my classroom at home and I'd be able to show you all that. But, all right. This is some really sticky Play-Doh day. Woohoo! Y'all are getting a winter wonderland up in here. This should be enough. So this Play-Doh, once it's made, if it's in an airtight sealed container, it will last, for me it lasts 2 seasons. So I have pumpkin in my classroom for about a month, give or take, is my theme. I change my themes every month. I am that crazy teacher. I can't wait to show you some of my fun themes that I do in my classroom. Yeah, this is still kind of sticky, y'all. Usually, this doesn't need this much flour. So, I almost think the recipe should call for maybe 3 cups of flour, to be honest with you, because I have probably put a whole nother cup of flour on this Play-Doh. All right, woohoo, I'm already having fun. Look, I'm just gonna play with it myself. Who needs to take it to my classroom? They're really making this. Let's be honest, I'm making this for myself. All right, I think we are good. So this will last up to 2 years, really, in an airtight container. You will know when it's time to replace it because it'll get harder and it will get more crystallized. And you will see that right through the top of the container. I'm going to show you the containers that I put all of mine in. I use some reusable, disposable containers. So when it's done, I just throw the whole thing away. Or if I'm really, really good and diligent, can't say that's always true, I will take the Play-Doh out, throw it away, and wash the container. See, I'm not going to lie to you. I wish I was like that all the time, but I'm not. Okay. Woo. Shake it off. Shake it off. All right. I'm not even a Swiftie, and I know a little bit of that song. Okay. So these are the containers I use. You can get them in bulk on Amazon. They have various stores, okay? But they work really well to put your Play-Doh in and to store it. Look at that bad boy. And it smells so good, y'all. I cannot wait for them to play with this Play-Doh tomorrow. And you still see a little bit of flour, but that's okay. Guess what? My kids are going to play in this tomorrow, and they're going to work all that out for me. Hey, they can help me out, and they're happy to do it. I'm going to let them help me out. All right. And there is my pumpkin Play-Doh right there. All right. I'm going to turn you back to me. Hi. See my hands? I feel like I've, like, you know, that Rice Krispie commercial, whatever it was, when they worked real hard and they put flour in their face. That's what I feel like right now. All right. So let's take one last smell. The smell of fall. Put a little whipped cream on that. You would never know that's Play-Doh. Okay, so this is a nice, fun, easy, simple way to do Play-Doh that is all natural. There's nothing in here that will harm your children if they accidentally put it in their mouth. And I am all for that as a teacher and as a mom. So I highly encourage them. Again, I'm going to put the recipe in the comments. And I'm going to share all this with you. Or maybe I'll put it just in the post. I don't know. We'll see what happens and what wild hair I have. So I hope you enjoyed making some pumpkin spice Play-Doh with me. And I hope you really give it a try, because once you get it down, it's super duper easy and it doesn't take very long at all. It's worth every moment, and it'll save you money over time. And I'm all about money saving. All right. Until we see each other again. Goodbye.